Hey, my name is Ndeda, radio host from X Breakfast on 105.5 XFM. I'm also an actor, and I'll be starring in an upcoming movie called 18 Hours. Be sure to check it out when it comes out. I'm here for SNAPPY 7. Let's hope we make something magical.
Mr. Nick.
Yes, sir.
What's up, brother?
It's great to be here. It's been a while since I've been in this building. However, the only times I come here was to see my brother. So this is he used to work here, not anymore. So this is actually kind of nostalgic.
For you.
It's interesting coming here without school uniform, in other words.
All right, karibu sana to SNAPPY 7.
Thank you.
Actor, MC, creative writer.
I like that.
And a radio host. You're all over. Tell us a little bit about that and why you get time to do all this stuff.
The major motivation for doing all that stuff is money. Well, not really, but it's what's cool about it is everything that I do happened as a result of another action, because I started off as an actor. That was my main thing. I always wanted to be an actor. And then I had a brother who wanted to do radio, so I took him for a radio audition, and then I got the job. And then there was a gig. I know it was a Tusker Project Fame thing, and the MC for that night was a little bit... So he couldn't show up, and I was called at the last minute, and I did it, and they liked me, and they called me again. Writing was because I think I've just always loved writing stories, and at the time I started writing scripts, it was because I didn't like the stuff I was seeing locally. Like a lot of the local product it didn't excite me much, and I was like, but I mean, if you can write a composition, writing a script can't be that hard. So I just tried. Of course, the first couple of ones I wrote were terrible. No one will ever see them, fortunately. But with more practice, I started writing substantial stuff, and now I'm very confident of the stuff that I write.
All right.
Yeah.
When was the first time you stood on a stage and people applauded you?
First time on stage was, oh man, this was when I was in high school. I was in Form 2, and the only reason, again, it always dates back to doing something because of something else. I mean, I wanted to be an actor, but I was a crazy introvert as a kid. Like, I was really, really shy. So
people can tell that now.
Oh, I think they can tell. I think they can tell. Maybe. I hope not. Maybe. I don't know. But so I went there was an audition in our high school. I was in Highway, and so they had a drama club for drama festivals, and I tried to get in, but I was like, let me just do a crowd scene, because that way, technically, I'm acting. But you won't really be able to tell, because they're the main actors on stage. And then what happens? One of the lead characters was in Form 4. He decides to drop the script, and he's like, we need someone tall. And I was the tallest one, and they're like, you speak okay enough, get these lines. I was nervous, and I told my brother, yo, I'm going to be acting. And my brother tells me, dude, you can't act. You're too shy. You can't step. I bet you if you step on stage, the first thing you do is pass out. So I was like, I just did it to prove my brother wrong. And first time on stage, I was nervous. I remember, I can never forget the cold sweat that comes from up here and it just trickles all the way down to your finger, and it's so fast that you can't hide it. Just like, okay, it's happened. What's going to happen? And I just went out. I did the thing. Interestingly enough, I won an award.
From
Best Actor Runners Up.
Which play was this?
This play was called Drums of a Sad Tomorrow. Drama Festivals, Provincials, which was in Nana High School, 2001. Actually, when I finished high school, though, I auditioned for about 15 months consecutively. I never got a part in any play. This is what's weird. You're in high school and you tell yourself, people are telling you you're such a good actor, and you buy into the hype, and then you go out there. And I remember I expected me to get my first role a month after I was done with high school. It just didn't happen. I auditioned every month. I literally joined Alliance Française just so that I could always hear about auditions, because I knew Heartstrings always had auditions over there. But every month, same directors would see me and just say, no. Eventually, the last one, I almost didn't go for it, because I was like, it's been 15 months. I told my parents, give me a year to try out this acting thing. And they said, if it doesn't work out, you're going to campus. I was like, cool. So 15 months later, nothing's happened. And I'm going to French class, because I actually used to take classes as well as try to audition. And I saw a poster for Merchant of Venice, Shakespeare. There was an audition for it. Now, the only reason why I went for that audition was because I've always wanted to do Shakespeare. It just always the thous and thou hast forsaken me used to just make. I was like, yes, I want to be the guy doing that. So that's the only reason why I went for that audition.
And you got
my
it.
15th, and I got it. And I did that play, and ever since then, people just keep calling me saying, I saw you in this play, can you come into my play and do something?
So you don't audition anymore?
I don't audition for plays anymore, thankfully. For
Yeah.
screen, completely different ball game.
All right, let's talk about screen. Which was the first show you did?
First show I did was Higher Learning, which was on MTV back in 2010.
How did you get it?
I think that was a bit of again, one of those power plays that happened in my life, because what I came to understand later after I got the part was that the role had already been casted to someone else, and then at the very last minute, the director was like, not completely convinced with that actor, and was like, is it possible to find someone else? Let's just try. This is on Thursday afternoon that I assumed the conversation happened, because I was called on Friday morning and told, you have to come for an audition on Saturday, next day. It's for a TV show, and if you get it, it starts shooting on Monday. Like,
so you had to...
This is such a long shot. Fine, I'll go through. I went through it. He liked me. I got in. We did the first season, which was great because it was very ensemble cast. But then I guess after the first season, I mean, this is not to belittle all the other actors in the show. We were all really good. I just felt that the writers decided to take more of a direction with my character and another lady. And so by season 2, we were like the leads of the show. So that was really cool, and that opened up, I think someone who watched me on Higher Learning told me about the Sugar auditions, and then I got into Sugar.
Which season?
Season 2.
Yeah.
Crazy 6-part audition, which, oh my God, I think if I did not get that role, I would have been so disheartened. Because by the 6th audition, we'd gone from 800 people to 3, and I remember on the last day, they asked us to rap. And I was like, after all the acting we've done, you want to tell me that the thing that's going to determine whether or not I get this role is if I can rap? Thank goodness I love rap music. So I went out there and I rapped something. I remember Lupita was one of the casting directors in the room, and she was like, oh, that's cool. And we did that, and Sugar was great. And the production company that did Sugar was doing this show called Jacob's Cross in South Africa, and they were like, hey, do you have some time? There's this role we think you might try out. I tried it out, they liked it, went down to South Africa, did that, came back, and because my first love has always been theatre, I did a lot of plays at Phoenix. When I came back to Kenya in 2012, it's just been, I've done a lot of theatre till now when I did 18 hours. I always entertained the idea of working on a rock station. So I heard XFM, I was like, oh, it would be nice if one day I could get in there. And then I came back from South Africa and I get a call from the PC. I don't know him, and he's like, yo, I haven't heard you on radio. You know, are you still on? I'm like, I don't have a job right now. Exactly. Do you want to give me one? He's like, yeah, come through. I do that. I hooked up with Farid Kimani, who showed me a lot of great stuff on morning radio, which was great because about a year later he left, and then I had to take over the morning show. And I've been doing X Breakfast for 5 years now. 5 years now. Yeah.
All right. Radio apart. Acting. 18 hours. Tell us a little bit about that movie. 18 hours. This is a really, really cool script. Like it's loosely based on. It's inspired by an actual event. About, I believe, a year and a half, going on 2 back, there was a story about a young paramedic by the name of Brian Odhiambo, who spent 18 hours in an ambulance trying to keep a casualty alive. So that's what the movie is based on. It's actually based off that incident. So I play this rookie paramedic called Zach, whose first assignment, like after doing all the theoretical training and practice sessions, his first actual case is a road accident incident. So he has to attend to a casualty, and when you're being trained, you can only prepare yourself so much for any eventuality. So when he finds himself in a situation where I have a casualty, this guy's going to die if I don't administer the right kind of care and get him to a hospital, he realizes that there are things that you have to face, like lack of ICU beds, oxygen tanks running out, and he has to borrow another, and it's not compatible with the one they're using, terrible roads, traffic, rain, and it just becomes something that's like an ultimate test of himself as a person as well as a paramedic. And it's coming out in October? It's coming out in October. It was written and directed by Kevin Jue, who had a really
a really interesting approach to how we did the film, because as opposed to most of the screen stuff where shooting can be just very short, do a 3-second take, stop, do it for 1 minute and stop. A lot of the scenes, which are very procedural, because I literally had to learn step by step on how to administer care to a casualty patient, thanks to the emergency response team that were even on set. So it was really cool that they trained us beforehand and even during the shooting. And we had to shoot all those scenes from start to stop. So, like, I know one scene none of the cast members will forget was the scene where Zach gets to the scene of the accident. And it goes from opening the doors of the ambulance, going to the patient, trying to get the crowds away, trying to get him onto a stretcher, trying to clean him up, trying to administer IVs and everything, to moving the patient into the ambulance. It was, we literally shot that scene over and over from, I believe, 10 p.m. till like 5 in the morning. And it had to be start to finish.
No mistakes.
There were lots of mistakes. There were lots of mistakes. There were lots of things to realize. And then it also brings about the sense of you have to be very precise. You have to be urgent, because when it comes to the guys who do it in real life, the one luxury they don't have is time. It has to be like this. Like, immediately you need to know exactly. I remember from the first take we did at 10 p.m. and the last one we did at about 4 in the morning, there was definitely a huge difference. A lot of time had been saved, and I was like, whoa, mad respect to guys who do this. And you know, it really is a calling, because it's a lot to deal with. There's so many distractions happening. And I'm not just talking camera, I'm just talking literally, there's so many humans around you. There's this energy where you feel your every single move is being judged. So.
All right, enough with that mambo jumbo. 7 languages. Which ones are these you speak?
English, French, Spanish, Luo, Swahili, Sheng. Nilisema 7.
Yeah, you said 7. Hizo zingine.
Nadhani niko najichocha. That's 6.
Yes,
I said Luo, right?
You said Sheng. Come on, Sheng Swahili?
It's a bit different. It's a bit different.
Tofauti nini?
Si kuna maboys ukianza kuongea Sheng watarada. Alafu wanze kuzungumza Swahili, unaingiza maneno mengine, wanaanza kuongelea kijana nini, mbona ringu ndio kama umetoka kwa bara na.
All right.
So I'm like,
where did you grow up anyways?
Grew up in Langata. Most of my life was in Langata.
Langata? Went to school where? Highway?
Went to school in St. Hannah's, primary, then Hulu Gardens, then I went to Highway, then I went to USIU, and then I sadly never graduated.
Whoa. Why? What happened? The movies, the money came in, and you're like, I'm done with education.
No, because I was acting before I got into university. I started doing radio when I was a first year, but for me, it was, I think my introvert self started to crumble, because campus life is crazy. Man, like I used to, campus life is crazy. I felt like I just couldn't.
A lot of people listen to you, and all these questions comes up: dating, married, children.
Not married, definitely dating. Been dating for 3 years, going on 4. Shout out to Mudhoni Gitao, amazing blogger, vlogger, writer, actor. She's a lot. She's a lot, and she's such a creative spirit. She makes amazing DIYs. She's made everything in our house, and by everything I'm talking shelves, table. She recently made a park for our cats, which they dug up, the stupid mongrels. But an overall creative. I think the fact that she's such a creative soul, she makes her own shirts. Like Jesus, she makes her own shirts.
Nice.
I love this woman. She's so amazing. So yeah.
Mr. Nick.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, brother, for coming through.
Thank you for having me, man, and love the support. I definitely believe that you guys inspire young people to get on the right path, and it's a good thing. It's a really cool thing. Keep it up.
All right. Cheers, brother.
That's what's up. All right.